Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another broadcast of Jerusalem's Gate. I tell you, I'm really psyched up. Before we get on this news topic, the Lord, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me today, and just in my morning prayers, just felt just really good. And I know you don't supposed to go into your personal feelings, but I did feel that the presence of the Lord was really with me this morning in my prayers, and that I do every morning. But I have some information. It seems like our commander in chief is his tactic towards Iran is working. It's Iran is economy is down the tubes, for lack of better terms. Their people are starting to look at their own government as being in fault. My personal opinion, and I respect every commander in chief that we have, even though I wouldn't vote for them, or the ones that do would vote for, so on and so forth. I did not like the Iran nuclear deal from the get-go. My personal feelings is Iran has a very secret missile program and nuclear program. And I think that the only thing that came out of that Iran nuclear deal was cargo planes full of cash. And think about where that cash went to. It certainly didn't go to the Iranian people. I'm sure some hierarchies in the Iranian government made out like a bandit. Cash. Can you imagine? Literally planes full of cash. Now they converted the U.S. dollars, I believe, into euros, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. But I did read somewheres where they did not take the U.S. cash. They transferred the cash into another currency before they took delivery of it. But coming out of Reuters, and Reuters is always a good source. I like Reuters. I believe they're spot on their reporting. We'll go to them in this article. The title reads, Renewed U.S. sanctions target Iran's economy. Tehran cool on talks. Okay, let's dive into the article. The United States aims to cripple Iran's economy further with sanctions it is reimposing this week, administration officials said on Monday. But Iran's leader said economic pressure alone would not force Tehran to the negotiating table. And here's a picture of Iran, and you can tell that the leaders there and some of the people there just do not like the U.S. government as to how they depict our Statue of Liberty. Okay, next paragraph. The so-called snapback sanctions due to come into force early on Tuesday will target Iranian purchases of U.S. dollars, metals trading, coal, industrial software, and its auto sector. Foes for decades, the United States and Iran have been increasingly at odds over Iran's growing political and military influence in the Middle East since Trump took office in January 2017. The sanctions now being brought back were among those lifted under the 2015 deal between world powers and Tehran on curbing Iran's nuclear program. Let's go for one more paragraph. Okay, Iran's Rial currency has lost half its value. Their currency has lost half its value since April under the threat of revived U.S. sanctions. The currency's collapse and soaring inflation have sparked sporadic demonstrations in Iran against profiteering and corruption, with many protesters chanting anti-government slogans. I don't want to sound like a tyrant or anything, but we do need a regime change in Iran. I personally believe that Iran, with the right people in there, could be a very important country. I truly believe the people of Iran, the average citizen, are good people, but they're governed by people that has a mind on their missiles and their nuclear program. And again, not to sound redundant, I wonder where that cash went to. I think of that, all that cash. I wonder where it went to. That was a horrible deal. And I respected President Obama because he was my commander in chief, and I'm commanded in the Bible to have respect for authority. If you watch the channel, I'm not ashamed to say this. I am a supporter of President Trump. Is President Trump perfect? No, he's a human being. He puts on his pants one leg at a time, like we all do. He's not perfect, but I think he is exactly what our country needed at the right time. I like how he's rebuilding the military. I'm a believer in a strong military. The best way to avoid future conflicts is to have a strong military, the strongest in the world. And not to go. This is a topic for another day. But we have China that's building ships as fast as they can build them, and building aircraft carriers. Is really in the next couple of decades, you're going to see China be a world, really they're a superpower now, but a dominant superpower. If things go the way they're continually building up their military, and I think that China has a potential of being a real big superpower. And I agree with President Trump's tariffs on China. Everything you buy, next time you go to the store, look at where it's made from, and I guarantee at least 80% of it is from China. And when Clinton did the China deal, I think he had he thought that China would be open to U.S. goods, but just the opposite happened. People started closing down their factories here and go to where there's less regulations and salaries a lot less, and build in China. And that's where you get the cheap China products. And that floods the free world's markets. But getting back on the topic, hey, let's support President Trump as he continues to put the pressure on Iran. I pray for a regime change in Iran, and I don't think that's being anti-Christian to pray for new leadership in Iran. Because again, I think the average citizen is basically a good people, but they are blinded by their leaders. But with that being said, I just wanted to give you this bit of information. You're watching and listening to another broadcast of Jerusalem's Gate. God be with you all. Amen.